Okay, let's look at a second example of case 2. And remember, case 2 means that we have linear factors that are repeated. So this x cubed is x times x times x, and that's the repeated part. So we know that we're going to break this up into a over x plus b over x squared plus c over x cubed. That's how we take care of that repeated linear factor. Plus, we have d over the x minus 1. That's not repeated, so it just happens the once over here. Okay, so we have to find a, b, c, and d. And remember that we are always going to start these problems the same way by clearing the denominator using the least common multiple. So x cubed times x minus 1. So the left side would be x plus 8, and the right side would be a. Then let's see, we're dividing out 1x, so that would be x squared times x minus 1, plus b. We're dividing out x squared, so that's x times x minus 1, plus c. All those three x's get divided out, but we still have x minus 1. And then d, we get rid of the x minus 1, but we have x cubed. Okay, this is the equation that we kind of want to focus on, use to find the a, b, c, and d. So I like this one because we kind of have to use a little bit of both methods, or it's easiest if we use a little bit of both methods. So remember that the second method that we had to solve was letting x equal something that would be clever and helpful. Okay, so let's let x equal. Look through the equation and try to think of a number that might be helpful. Just take a little guess. Okay, I'm going to start with 1. Okay, let x equal 1. Do you see why I chose 1? Okay, so that would be 1 plus 8 is equal to, and then this is a. We can write this all out, or you can make it a little quicker for yourself. Look at the 1 minus 1. That's going to be times 0. So that's all 0. The b is going to be b times 1, times 0. And then the c, 1 minus 1, 0 again. But the d is times 1 cubed, right? Okay, so we get 9 is equal to d, and we found d. Okay, let's do that again. What's another thing that it could be helpful to make x? Okay, did you think of 0? I hope so. So if x is equal to 0, that is 0 plus 8 on the left. And then look at a, that's going to be times 0. So is b. But now c is going to be times 0 minus 1. Okay, so c is still there. D is times 0, or we actually know d is 9, but that's also times 0. So either way, that's 0. Okay, we got 8 is equal to c times negative 1. So c is equal to negative 8. Okay, so wonderful. Now we have c and d. Right? We know the numbers, but we do not know a and b yet. We have to still find those. And you can probably see, I don't think there's a way to let x equal a number that will help us solve for a or b. So it looks like we have to go back to our system, okay, and solve the system for the rest. So let's create that system for ourselves and review how we do that. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to need to do is take our equation and expand it out so we can see what we have. So on the left, we still have x plus 8. And on the right, we're going to multiply this out. Boom, 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 boom. Except when I put in c, I'm going to put in negative 8 here. And for d, I'm going to put in 9. No sense in leaving a c and a d. Okay, so that's ax cubed minus ax squared plus bx squared minus bx, and then minus, remember that c is 8, x plus 8 plus 9x cubed. Okay, great. That wasn't that hard to multiply out. And now we have to combine all the terms that match up. And remember, we're actually looking for that they match up in x. So see, ax cubed goes with 9x cubed. Okay, so that would be x cubed times a plus 9. So that's the ax cubed term plus the 9x cubed term, and then I GCF'd the x to the front, and then so I'm left with the a plus 9. Okay, now I have some x squared terms. I think they're right next to each other. I think I only have 2, so that's x squared times negative a plus b. Okay, then I have some x terms. I'll put those underlined here and here. So I have plus x times negative b minus 8. Okay, and then I just have this one number plus 8. Okay, the other side of the equation is still x plus 8. Now, I don't know if you remember back to how we solved. I think I need a little more space, just a little more space, not too much, hopefully. But we solved these by comparing them to the left side of the equation. Okay, so I want you to think of this left side of the equation as, there's an 8 and there's a single x, but then what are the x squared terms and the x cubed terms? Well, they're actually 0x squared and, whoops, out of room, 0x cubed, right? So over on the other side, let's match them up with some colors. 0x cubed should equal x cubed times a plus 9. So this a plus 9 has to equal 0. So a plus 9 equals 0. That is just the x cubed terms compared. Okay, let's do another color for x squared. So 0x squared over on the other side is plus negative a plus b x squared, right? So on that one, that's 0 is negative a plus b. Okay. Now we have a 1x, so the coefficient of x is 1, and over on the right side, the coefficient of x, why am I writing it up there, is negative b minus 8, okay? And so that's negative b minus 8 is equal to 1. Okay, that's the green terms matched up the coefficients of x. So I should have said the x terms here, and this was the x squared terms. So by the way, this is called an identity. You're comparing one side of the equation to the other, and you know they have to be equal because of the equal sign. So it's an identity. Finally, you have the constants, and you do have 8 equals 8, but I think we already knew 8 equaled 8. So that's 8 equals 8. That's the constants. It's true. We're happy. Okay, now these are very simple equations to solve. It's if you can come up with them, you can solve them. So A is equal to negative 9. Okay, and then B, if I plug in to the second equation, I guess, or I can just solve the third equation. Negative 9, so 9 plus B equals 0. So B is also negative 9. Okay, so now we actually have A, B, C, and D, and we can write our answer. Okay. And it has to match up with this bright pink thing. Actually, I'm going to write it in the same color, right? So A was negative 9, that's over x, plus B was negative 9 over x squared, plus C is negative 8 over x cubed, and D was 9, so plus 9 over x minus 1. And that is our partial fraction decomposition.